Phillip Schofield, Part 6. The story of the Phillip Schofield grooming scandal begins with the introduction of Matthew McGreevy to Phillip Schofield. McGreevy was just 10 years old when he first encountered Schofield through his theatre group. Little did he know that this seemingly innocent meeting would shape his future in both positive and deeply troubling ways. As time went on, Phillip Schofield assumed the role of mentor in Matthew McGreevy's life. Schofield's experience and expertise in the entertainment industry were invaluable to the young McGreevy, who looked up to him as a guiding figure. Schofield offered advice, guidance, and support as McGreevy navigated the complexities of the entertainment world. However, what began as a mentorship soon raised eyebrows among colleagues and industry insiders. The relationship between Schofield and McGreevy became increasingly close, with Schofield publicly following McGreevy on Twitter when he turned 15. This closeness, coupled with the significant age difference between the two, sparked concern and speculation. Rumours of a grooming scandal began to circulate as people questioned how a young man like McGreevy could secure such a high-profile position on This Morning. Former This Morning regular Katie Hopkins even alleged that presenter Ruth Langsford had filed a complaint against Schofield, hinting at the disturbing nature of their relationship. The unsettling revelations intensified when it was disclosed that Schofield and McGreevy had gone out for dinners together, and McGreevy had been a constant presence on Schofield's shows. Reports emerged suggesting that Schofield had shown special attention to McGreevy from a young age, raising further concerns about the nature of their bond. Now, it's important to point out that there was no suggestion of sexual activity when the individual was a minor. However, it does appear that Schofield has taken advantage of an individual who looked up to him, to groom him, to bring him under his control, to show a sense of entitlement, treating him like an object, disregarding his position and the facade, of course, that he put out to the public, the way that he regarded himself as a clean-cut silver fox, and that was much of his popularity was founded upon. The fact that what might have started off as a positive mentorship became a more darker aspect with the allegations of grooming, which demonstrates control, a sense of entitlement, a lack of accountability, objectification, possession, an absence of emotional empathy. Ruth Langsford emerged as a pivotal figure. As a former presenter on This Morning, Langsford witnessed the dynamics between Schofield and McGreevy firsthand. Troubled by what she observed, she began to raise concerns. Driven by a sense of duty and the need to address the unsettling situation, Ruth Langsford made the decision to file a formal complaint against Phillip Schofield. The complaint alleged inappropriate behaviours that she had become aware of during her time on the show. The details of the complaint were not immediately disclosed, but its credibility was reportedly significant. The fact that a fellow presenter had taken such action indicated the seriousness of the allegations against Schofield. Following Ruth Langsford's complaint, the aftermath then unfolded rapidly. Matthew McGreevy, the young showrunner and Schofield's boyfriend, was swiftly terminated from his position on This Morning. It was evident that the credibility of Langsford's complaint played a significant role in this decision. However, the termination of McGreevy was not the only consequence. Despite the allegations and the questionable nature of his relationship with McGreevy, Schofield mysteriously managed to retain his job. This unusual treatment raised eyebrows and fueled further speculation. The public was left pondering why Schofield was allowed to continue his role, while others faced the repercussions of their alleged involvement. This discrepancy led to various theories and debates regarding behind-the-scenes dynamics and potential power imbalances within the industry. Termination of McGreevy's employment and the survival of Schofield's career then became matters of public scrutiny. Following his termination, From this morning, Matthew McGreevy found himself embittered by the events that had transpired. Allegedly bitter about his dismissal, McGreevy contemplated sharing the details of the inappropriate relationship he had with Schofield with a tabloid, seeking a substantial sum of money in return. McGreevy believed that exposing the scandal would not only grant him financial compensation, but also shed light on the alleged misconduct within the industry. While the details of the inappropriate relationship between Phillip Schofield and Matthew McGreevy were not fully disclosed, speculation ran rampant. McGreevy was allegedly prepared to admit that the relationship had been inappropriate, suggesting that the boundaries had been crossed. The implications of an inappropriate relationship between a young showrunner and an experienced television presenter were being laid bare. The controversy surrounding the Phillip Schofield grooming scandal raised numerous unanswered questions, particularly regarding Matthew McGreevy's age at the time of the alleged inappropriate relationship. The lack of clarity added an additional layer of complexity to an already deeply unsettling situation. The ambiguity surrounding McGreevy's age and the subsequent controversy ignited discussions about consent, boundaries, and responsibilities of those in positions of power within the entertainment industry. In the midst of all of this, of course, the renowned television presenter made a momentous revelation. After more than 3 decades of keeping his personal life hidden, Schofield publicly declared that he was gay. While Schofield asserted that his decision to come out was a personal one, skepticism arose regarding the circumstances surrounding his revelation. Some skeptics suggest that Schofield's disclosure may have been influenced by external pressures or a desire to divert attention away from the grooming scandal. Deflection. This skepticism also prompted debate about the authenticity of Schofield's revelation. Critics questioned whether his decision to come out was driven by genuine personal growth, or whether it was a strategic move to manipulate public perception, i.e. facade management. In the aftermath of Schofield's revelations, Joan Collins, the legendary actress, hinted at the possibility of ulterior motive behind Schofield's public coming out, suggesting that he may have felt compelled to go public owing to existing knowledge and rumours about his alleged inappropriate behaviour. This tarnished his credibility, and Schofield admitted having an affair with a much younger man who worked with him on This Morning and resigned from ITV over his lies about the relationship. Accordingly, there was a lack of boundary recognition by virtue of the fact that he essentially abused a mentoring relationship. There was a lack of boundary recognition because he was involved with what was essentially a colleague. There was questionable judgment because this individual was much younger. There was also the fact that it was being kept hidden from other people, that Schofield lied about it when quizzed by his bosses, the fact that he doled out preferential treatment. McGreevy was able to get taxis, and, was ferried around, and was often seen hanging out with Schofield and the numerous famous guests that appeared, even though he was just a runner on the show. This again demonstrates the favouritism that was being exhibited and the idealisation of Schofield, and a lack of due regard and empathy for people being affected by this favouritism. The television presenter issued a statement saying he admitted the relationship was unwise, but stressed it wasn't illegal. He stepped down as presenter of This Morning amid reports of a feud with co-star Holly Willoughby, and he said he was deeply sorry for having lied to his wife and to ITV about his relationship with a young man reportedly 30 years his junior and who he first met as a teenager. He said the affair, which he described as on-off, had only begun once the young man began working on the ITV daytime show. Contrary to speculation, whilst I met the man when he was a teenager and was asked to help him to get into television, it was only after he started to work on the show that it became more than just a friendship, said Schofield, adding, that relationship was unwise, but not illegal. It is now over. Speculation about Schofield had been rife ever since he dramatically announced he was quitting This Morning. In February 2020, Schofield, who'd been married for 27 years at the time, tearfully announced he was gay in an admission made on air. Schofield admitted he'd lied to ITV when denying the relationship to his co-worker and apologised for having been unfaithful to my wife. All of this, of course, all appears to be false contrition. He issued the statement after being confronted by the Daily Mail. He had previously denied the relationship when the newspaper's sister publication, The Mail on Sunday, had approached him for comment. In his statement, Schofield said, "The first thing I want to say is I am deeply sorry for having lied to them and to many others about a relationship that I had with someone working on this morning. I did have a consensual on-off relationship with a younger male colleague at this morning. When I chose to come out, I did so entirely for my own well-being. Nobody forced me out. Neither I nor anyone else to my knowledge has ever issued an injunction, super or otherwise, about my relationship with this colleague. He was never moved on or sacked by or because of me. In an effort to protect my ex-colleague, I haven't been truthful about the relationship. But my recent unrelated departure from this morning fueled speculation and raised questions which have now been impacting him. So for his sake, it is important for me to be honest now. I am painfully conscious that I have lied to my employers at ITV, to my colleagues and friends, to my agents, to the media, and therefore the public, and most importantly of all, to my family. I am so very, very sorry, as I am for having been unfaithful to my wife." He said he was stepping down from the British Soap Awards, which he described as my last public commitment, adding that he would be resigning from ITV with immediate effect, expressing my immense gratitude to them for all the amazing opportunities that they have given me. I reflect on my very bad judgment in both participating in the relationship and then lying about it. ITV were deeply disappointed by the admissions. Philip made assurances to us, which he now acknowledges were untrue, and we feel badly let down, a spokesperson said. We accept his resignation from ITV and therefore can confirm that he will not be appearing on ITV as previously been stated. His agents dropped him, explaining that honesty and integrity are core values for YMU's whole business, defining everything we do. This week we have learned important new information about our client Phillip Schofield. These facts contradicted what Philip had previously told YMU, as well as the external advisors we had brought in to support him. As a result, on Thursday we agreed to part company with Philip with immediate effect. Thus, this affair and all the behaviours surrounding it are resplendent with narcissistic indicators. Conducting an affair, lying about it to his wife, lying about it to his family, lying about it to his colleagues, lying about it to his bosses, lying about it to the public. Repeated lies, showing an arrogance, an absence of accountability, a sense of entitlement, and then turning on the false contrition when discovered. Lying about his departure not being associated with it, when it's clear that as a consequence of his behaviours that people have started to have enough of him. There's a body of evidence demonstrating the repeated feuds that he was engaging in with his co-presenter, with other presenters such as Ruth Langsford and Eamon Holmes. The suggestion that he created a toxic atmosphere, and of course the icing on the cake with regard to his grooming of a young man who he later went on to have a sexual and inappropriate relationship with, despite him being a colleague. Next, we examine reaction and further observations about him coming from further people who worked with him at this morning, starting with Eamon Holmes. Join me in part 7.